Hello. Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, tonight I want to talk about this one chart or this one, I don't know how you call it, but there's one thing that may be driving the market. So I want to look at what this thing is and basically determine whether or not this upcoming week, starting from tomorrow, what is going to happen? Is this really the market driver? And if so, then we could definitely utilize this to our advantage going forward. So let's see how it is. Let's see how accurate it is, and let's discuss. All right, so thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, sometimes I'm a little bit late because weekends are a little hectic for me, but make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime I stream, and also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, those of you guys that are here, welcome. Some of you guys are up really late waiting for me, and I appreciate that. 3 or 4 p.m. or a.m. I should say around the world. That's just insane. But yeah, let's do this. All right. So, looking at Bitcoin, a little bit better now than earlier today when we were below 50,000. Now we're a little bit above 50,300. But I want to make normally I'm not a TA guy, okay? TA works until it doesn't. But there is something that I want to show you guys that actually looks pretty darn good from a TA standpoint. So, let me show you that. Right off the bat. First of all, I'm on the daily chart. Normally when I show you guys this, I'm on a smaller time frame, like 5 minute or 15 minute or something, right? But let's zoom out a little bit and look at a daily, and you could see when you zoom out like this, man, Bitcoin has been on a freaking tear, right? But there's been times where it just goes sideways. You may not notice it. Like this was pretty big, this was pretty big, this was pretty big until recently. So now you may be arguing, okay, well, this is going sideways, right? But let's not forget how much has come up. But here's the good thing. So looking at the daily indicators, one thing there's actually 3 things. Let's just do 3 indicators that I like to use, simple ones. These are like the most basic ones that you can use, you can apply to crypto and stocks too. Number 1 is MACD. MACD. And that's the third one down here. And I'll just zoom out a little bit. All right. And this is, bear with me. I just want to show you this before I talk about this other big thing. But you look at over here, when we first hit 42,000 or 42,000 for Bitcoin, then we slid down, right? And you could see the MACD went from green and went to red. And then, when it started going up again, it started to turn back to green, right? But where was the turning point while it was coming down? Where was the turning point? Well, look at this. So starting from here, the first time that MACD started turning over was this pink, right? And then it started going up to the green. And then from that point on, Bitcoin went from a pretty good 32,000 level all the way up to about 58,000, okay? Then the cycle repeated. It came down, and then you could see from here, MACD perspective right over here when it turned pink, that was around was it 44,000, and then it rose up to about 61,000. So obviously that's pretty good. Then from there we went down again to a low about 50,700, right where we are now. Then you can see when it started turning up, it went up to about 64,000 before coming back down. Hold on a second. My dogs are going crazy. Apologize for that. But here's the thing. Okay, so look at where we are now. Right? We're on a daily chart. We see a green here. You could see that the MACD is now flipping. Right? This stopped and it actually turned pink, just like all these other times. So this could indicate that this is a bottom and that we are getting ready to form a new high, right? So that's number 1. That's the first indicator. Another indicator, very basic, RSI, Relative Strength Index. And basically, the higher RSI is, the more overbought it is. The lower it is, the more oversold it is. And if you look at the RSI, it is currently at 32. Okay, where was the last time? When was the last time? Excuse me. When was the last time RSI was at 32? The last time was all the way back here in September, when Bitcoin was below 10,000 and went on a staggering 6x run. That's how low the daily RSI is. We have not been this low since September of 2020. So that is also looking pretty darn good from that perspective. So does that mean we're going to go 6x from here to $300,000? Probably not. But it does show you that right now within this bull run, this has actually been a period where it's really, really stagnant and things are coming down. You know, things are resetting. And the last one is the stochastic RSI, which is like a faster version of RSI. And you could see that, you know, if it tops out, it comes down. Pretty accurate, right? Tops out, comes down, and look at where we are. We're right at bottom, at the same point as the bottoms before, right before it starts going up. So from a technical standpoint, on a daily chart, things are looking fantastic. Fantastic. This is just like, it's about like a triple play here where you have stochastic, RSI, and MACD all looking like it wants to go up. So I just want to show you that right off the bat from a technical standpoint. I'm not a TA guy, but even the most basic TA right now pinpoints that Bitcoin is about to go up. But that's not the main thing I want to show you guys. The main thing I want to show you guys, the what may be the market driver for this coming week is Bitcoin options. This week, starting from Sunday, going until next Friday, there's a couple things that's happening. You have Bitcoin futures expiration and Bitcoin options expiration. Now, futures expiration is from CME, and we know that there's a phenomenon that happens every last Friday of every month. That's when expirations happen. And the week before, starting from Sunday, you see some volatility and turbulence. Sometimes they're for the better, sometimes they're for the worse, right? But there's always been this thing about, well, if you look at futures, the volume doesn't justify what may drive the market up or down, right? But we know that people that play futures, they play both sides. They have a lot of Bitcoin. They could drive things up and down, especially with derivatives and leverage. It's very easy to try to make things up and down to fit those futures. But there's also Bitcoin options, which is not talked about a lot, but Bitcoin options is definitely a real thing, and the volume is huge too. Arguably, options have more volume than even futures. But, you know, I was led on to this not too long ago, but I want to show you guys this. So there's options all over. Like basically there's daily options, there's weekly options, but there's also like a main month end option, just like futures, where there's a month end and it closes everything for the month. Okay, so there is actually one that is tomorrow. So first, let's look at that. This one is not that important, but you know what? Let's look at it. This is what closes tomorrow. And right now, if you look at it, there's about 6 million volume for tomorrow to be at the calls at $53,000. Okay, so you have roughly people that believe, $6 million worth of contracts from people that believe Bitcoin will be at 53,000 or above, right? But then also you have the short side, but you can see that there's not a lot of short side. But the max pain, which is at 49,000, and this is the point where both the shorts and longs lose. According to all this, like the ones that's out, like 50, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, and this, people that are, betting on the short side, 46, 45, 44, 43, if you combine everything, the max pain price is right around $49,000. And guess what? Today, we've been hovering around that 50,000 mark, around 49, 50,000 mark the whole day, right? So is this what's driving the price? What's happening tomorrow? We'll see. Now, there are a lot of people that are playing longs that think that tomorrow Bitcoin will be at 53,000. So if tomorrow comes, or tonight, we see a big rally up to 53,000, then this is looking like this is the reason, the market driver, the whales behind the scenes want to drive Bitcoin to this price. But the max pain price is at 49,000, so this could also be the driver in terms of basically killing both sides, the shorts and the long, right? So this is today, but the volume on this is very low. This is about 6 million for at least, the calls at 53,000. But if you add all of it up, probably 10 million, 15 million, somewhere around there. So it's not very big. There is one right afterwards that's even smaller, and I'm gonna discount that because the volume on there is only 2 million and the max paying price is at 50,000, so it's roughly the same. But the one that I'm really interested in is the one that ends April 30th, right? So that's the one that's ending on Friday. So that has a very different story, very telling story. And I showed this at the beginning of the month, and you could see the volume on this is much higher. You have over roughly 2.25, about 2.5 billion dollars of call options that believe from people that believe Bitcoin will be at 80,000 by the end of April. Remember my estimate before, end of April, it was supposed to be at 80, 90,000, right? There are a lot of people that thought so early on, but the funny thing is the call options increased as we got closer to the date. So now you have over 2 billion, almost 2.5 billion of long option calls at 80,000 for April 30th. Does that mean we're going to see some explosive movement this coming week? Possibly. Not just even at 80,000. You could see there's a lot here. Almost 800 million at 72,000. 600 million at 76,000. You even have 600 million at 120,000, right? Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, but you have a lot of people that's making some very strong calls for the end of the month. Okay. Now, on the short side, you also have some, but very little. I mean, some people put 20,000, 24,000. I mean, the volume is really low. But you do have some that's right at 50,000, 52,000, right? That's right where we are now. And the funny thing is, the max paying price to basically hurt both sides is at 56,000. And where are we right now? We're at 50,000. So I think this could be a very telling thing. Number one is we can have a huge move this next week going until Friday, where it paints Bitcoin up all the way up to $70,000, $80,000. It seems very unlikely, but we have seen tremendous moves happen before. But on the other hand, let's say we don't have that tremendous move. Let's just say we have a gradual rise, right? It's very likely that Bitcoin will at least go to $56,000 because that's the max paying price. This will hurt both sides. So if there are whales that want to basically hurt the longs and the shorts at the same time, they will want to make it at $56,000 because then the short side and long side both lose. So even at that point, that's a 10% raise from here, right? From 50 to 56,000. So that would not be a bad thing too. So is this the market driver, right? It could be. And we don't have to wait that much longer. Starting from tomorrow, we started a new week, Sunday, obviously, but going to Monday, we will see what happens, right? And throughout this week, if we see some volatility, and it's good volatility, it's driving the market upwards and not downwards, then we know it definitely has to do with the whales that are playing the options market right now. There's a lot of whales that's betting that Bitcoin will go a lot higher, right? But I guess we'll see. We'll see if this actually comes true. If by Friday we're exactly at 56,000 or we're at 80,000, then I got to say, man, this is the real reason why sometimes Bitcoin has their volatilities or non-movement or have their explosive movement according to this. But of course, we don't see anything like this. We go down or we go sideways, right? Or maybe we just go up a little bit. We'll see. But I think this is pretty interesting. This is not small volume. Keep in mind, just that 80,000 one was over 2 billion. And if you add all that volume up, you're talking about like 5, 6, 7 billion in volume. That's quite a lot. So kind of interesting, right? So that's what I want to show you guys. The thing that may be the market driver is options rather than futures. So we'll just have to see. Obviously, futures still played by a lot of Wall Street guys, institutional guys. They may have more, skin in the game. But you know what? These option calls, they're pretty let's just say there's whales that's playing options too. All right, so that's pretty much it. Outside of that, you look at CMC, things are turning for the better. Dogecoin continues to rally, but you do have some of these losses that was in double digits have kind of paired and kind of started going up in a way, right? And even the one I talked about this morning about Solana, they continue to go up. They were about $38, $39 this morning. They climbed up even more. They're about $43, right? So things are starting to turn, but there are still bargains. They're still definitely bargains, especially if you look at the week, right? If you look at a week, I mean, besides Solana that gone up 77% in a down week, which is pretty amazing. But you look at a lot of the other ones like VeChain, they're down 20%. I think that's a bargain. Chainlink 18, even Cardano and Polkadot. Look at Polkadot's down 30%. These are big losses. Even XRP down 30%. But of course, something like Binance Coin only down 3%. So if you've been holding Binance Coin or even Ethereum, you've been gaining on Bitcoin this week because Bitcoin's down 16%. These two have held really well. Even Dogecoin at 6% down for this week have held really well against Bitcoin, right? They're actually hedges against Bitcoin at this point. So that's why it's important to hold. It's important to hold big caps. People think, okay, the only reason you hold big caps is for potential gains. But there are times where they actually hedge against Bitcoin. And when there is a downturn, they actually do really well. They actually make you gain on Bitcoin, which is a surprising thing because normally that just doesn't happen. It only happens when you're in altcoin season, right? So that's a surprise. But going down the list, there are a lot of bargains. There's a lot of bargains to be had. For those of you guys that are new, you're always wondering when you should get in, when the bottom is and stuff like that. No one knows when the bottom is, right? But you take advantage when you can. On dips, you buy low and sell high. It's a new concept for some of you guys. Yes, you buy low and sell high, not buy high and sell low, right? And you know what? Right now is one of those times where, yeah, you could get things 10, 20, 30% off. They're on discount right now, and they're looking pretty darn delicious at this point. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me turn it to you guys for some Q&A. Oh, and by the way, I do have my White Claw today. Today is tangerine. Cyrus asks, can these options be forwarded a month? No, I mean there's options every month. So there's already options you could buy for May and June and stuff like that. They're not forwarded. Once they're bought, they're there. What else is there? Bet to $5. I hope so. I mean, Bet has been really, really strong up to this week, right? They've been gaining. They got into the big cap. Now they slid down a little bit, but still, they're hanging strong at number 13. I've always said they're going to be at 10 and within the top 10, right? So they're not too far off. But Solana, man, right behind them. They're neck and neck. And Solana has been going up quite a bit. Any way to look at past performance of these options? Unfortunately, on that site, it doesn't. I can't see it. This is measuring options, by the way, on the options exchange Deribit. They're the biggest ones out there, so it doesn't show like the past ones, only the future ones. So maybe there's somewhere else that you can look at, but I haven't been able to find it. Cyrus, another super chat. Welcome. Solana starter scam site. I don't think anyone is talking about that, Brian. If there's a scam site, okay, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it. If you had to pick between Matic and Aave, which one would you pick? Which one has more upside in the bull cycle? If I had to pick, I would pick Matic. I think they have more upside. just based to their nature. I mean, Aave is in a very crowded space, in the lending space, very crowded. Matic, on the other hand, there is competition, but they're kind of like layer 2 and their own chain, and they have DeFi. I mean, they can stand on their own, right? So I think the potential for Matic could be pretty big. Os, thank you once again. Scott asks, if I'm only willing to go 10% on alts, am I better off just going 100% BTC? In my opinion, no. Even if you don't want to risk alts, even like, let's say if you ask me 90% in Bitcoin and 10% alts versus 100% Bitcoin at this current time, I would say 90% Bitcoin, 10% alts. That's why, because they're, within the last 6 months, alts have shown they have gained tremendously against Bitcoin. And during times like this, they have also held better than Bitcoin. I know it's weird to hear, but sometimes in altcoin season, that's what happens. Doesn't mean it's always like that, but it does. So I would say, even if you don't want to put much into altcoins, 10% altcoins is better than not putting anything in altcoins, in my opinion. What else is there? What are your views on Doge for this coming week? Doge, I talked about it I went on another person's site this morning as a stock trader, and I talked about Doge, and I basically said this: Doge have broken into big caps. They have that critical mass, and it takes a tremendous amount of people holding Doge to get it to where it is. Okay, no matter how many dumps and pumps and dumps some altcoins go through, they'll never get close to being a big cap. Never. It takes tremendous amount of followers and people that just holding that gets Dogecoin to this level, right? So I don't think they'll go away. And obviously, based on today, you could see that, you know what? There's still a lot of people. There's still a lot of people that really believe in Dogecoin. They're not going to go away. So can they go up from here? Yeah, definitely. MCR, do I use BlockFi? Not yet, but I am thinking about it because I do hold a substantial amount of crypto, and they're just sitting there. I've been actually really honestly thinking about BlockFi because, I've done a lot of research on them. Obviously, they're a sponsor of mine because I trust them. They use custody service that is very heavily guarded and assured with BitGo and Gemini. And, why not collect some interest, right? So I think, I think I'm going to do that in the future. So they provide pretty good interest. You get a sign-up bonus. There's a lot of things with BlockFi. So I am actually considering it. How about Reaper Coin Death? It functions to burn any coin. The value is based on the market. Yeah, that's just one of those deflationary coins that's created for no other purpose than help you make money. Let's just put it that way. But I don't like projects like that at all. P. Biddy says, Georgia has the best scoops on crypto. I appreciate that. What are your thoughts on Anchor and Mana? I think I'm neutral on Anchor. Mana, I'm more bullish on. I think Anchor, one-click no deployment is interesting, but not groundbreaking. Mana, on the other hand, is a virtual world full of entities, so I like them. Do you really believe Litecoin isn't CryptosRUs asset? Do you really believe Litecoin isn't worth holding? There's TA backing a huge movement. Well, so far within the last 3 months, there has been no movement. It hasn't broken through. It's still not back to its all-time high. I believe every single big cap, besides, with the exception of Bitcoin Cash, there's no other big cap that hasn't broken through its 2017 high. Bitcoin is way higher than 2017 high. Everything else should be, right? Ethereum broke through. Binance Coin broke through. XRP, I guess, didn't. I take that back. XRP didn't because XRP went on a crazy run, right? But Dogecoin definitely did. Cardano did. Polkadot did. Uniswap did. Chainlink did. VeChain did. Solana did. Stellar did. Filecoin, Theta. They all broke through, right? But the other one is Litecoin. So it has not done well. So a lot of people could say there's TA backing, there's a huge move coming. Until it happens, I wouldn't recommend it. It's just not a better store value than Bitcoin. It's just not. So if it can't outperform Bitcoin, it can't hold better than Bitcoin, then what's the point of holding it? Ashton, Appreciate that. What's a better pick? ADA under $1, DOT under 30. I think Polkadot is going to get a chance. Polkadot has been really stagnant for a long time. Cardano kind of pumped a couple times. Polkadot pumped once and kind of just stood there. So I'm expecting them to make a move in the near future. I mean, it is their turn. Like almost every crypto gets their turn, with the exception of maybe Litecoin. That hasn't really gotten a big pump turn yet. But Polkadot, there's a lot of people that believe in it. I think they're going to get their chance. So is it better to buy, if you're asking better to buy Polkadot or Cardano right now, I say Polkadot, especially looking at the past week performance. They're down 30% versus 18%. So I would say go with Polkadot. You think PancakeSwap will keep going this week? Well, someone told me about PancakeSwap Day. They had a lot of burn. But yeah, PancakeSwap, their volume is exploding. They're the most widely used AMM out there. So yeah, I think they're going to go higher. I think they'll go higher. Yes, Matt Kors. I completely blanked. You caught me there. I completely blanked out when thinking about his name. Ecomi NFT seems unpredictable, but I feel this is undervalued. I think you gotta wait. NFTs kind of saturated. That's why there are a lot of NFT marketplaces. So I think you gotta wait until some of them dies down, and then it'll do really, really well. I think that's, especially since they have the licensing and attraction. Almost every stream, someone's like, hey, what do you think about Ecomi or Omi? Like almost every stream. So obviously they have a very, very loyal fan base, So I think they're going to do well. You just got to give them a chance. Give them a chance to come back. Dude, Brian, I get your point, but no one's talking about Soul Starter or anything like that. I don't even know where you heard about it. I'm not going to pull it up because it's going to make more people go check out the scam site. No one has asked me about that clone site or scam site. So I'm sorry it happened to you, but no one else has ever asked me about it or talked about how they got scammed. What are your thoughts on Monero? Yeah, I don't like Monero. What does it mean? You said private security coins will be delisted from the exchanges. Do you notice there's no U.S. exchange that has Monero? And all South Korean exchanges have delisted Monero. They took it off. You can't buy it anymore. That's what I mean. Because governments don't like that they can't track you on the blockchain with Monero. So they're forcing the exchanges to delist them. That's what I mean. Can Kate become top 10 this year? Probably not. Can they be top 20? Yeah. Top 15? Whew. Possibly. Top 10? That's going to be really tough. That's going to be really tough. If Litecoin does break its all-time high, do you think you could go look at Haejin Lee's video on the Adam and Eve breakout? Well, if it breaks through all-time high, then they're probably right? But why do I need to look at it? Like, for me, these things are breaking out. The reason why these coins are higher is not because TA says they're going to go higher. They're higher because there's people that believe in them, and they're buying more, right? So if you're just looking at it from a standpoint like, okay, Litecoin's going to break through because TA is saying it's going to break through, that's the wrong way to look at it. TA is used, in my opinion, as a good guide, right? If you just don't know any better, you want to look at what has happened before and you want to try to triangulate, great, okay? But it's not going to predict a new high. The only way a high comes is if people put more money into it. And right now, I'm not seeing more people put money into Litecoin because they rather put money into all these other ones that are moving better, that have more promise, that have more things coming up. Where Litecoin there isn't. The only thing that's coming out from Mimblewimble, and that's been delayed for like years. So if you're looking at a store value, there's nothing better than Bitcoin. And Litecoin does not have smart contracts. They don't have DeFi. They don't have NFTs. So they're not in any other realm. And as a currency, they're horrible at it too, versus some of the other guys that are much better suited for it. So, I mean, can it go up? Sure. Can it move past its highs? Sure. right? But is it going to outperform everything else out there? Probably not. So that's what you need to worry about. Thoughts on where H-bar will go this cycle? I mean, check out my interview with Mance. Interesting guy, very smart guy. They have interesting things going on. It's a project I think could do well, but I don't have any projections for them. I don't. They're a little bit too closed system for me. It's not a project I really want to get behind. But with that said, they could do very, very well. They could do very well this year. How do you feel about thin crust barbecue chicken pizza? You know what I'm addicted to for pizza? I don't eat a lot of pizza, but I'm addicted to I can't think of the name. I'm having one of those days where I can't think of stuff. Maybe one too many White Claws. I don't know, but yeah, I can't think of the name right now. All right, so forgive me. Andrew Johnson, hey, appreciate that. Big super chat. Appreciate it. Kraken has Monero. Well, they'll delist that pretty soon. Soon enough. I think I missed one. Link. I think someone asked about Link. I think someone asked about Link, but it disappeared on me. But I mean, you know, people always ask me about Link when I think about Chainlink. You know, Chainlink it's a blue chip. It's a necessary project. Okay, almost every single DeFi project needs price feeds, and that's what Chainlink provides, right? So Chainlink is vital for them. And I know there's a lot of promising oracles that's coming out. Ban is one of them, and there's a whole bunch of others that is in that space. I think Silo's another one. I mean, there's just a lot that's doing that. But here's the thing. They're unproven. Chainlink has withstood many hacks, many attacks, and they withstood. And their price feeds have shown to be reliable. A lot of DeFi projects. Just go Google search. DeFi projects that have been hacked, almost all of them is due to unreliable data from oracles. And then after the hack, if they still survive, then they go to Chainlink, right? So this is the reason why I haven't, no other project have shown me that they have a better oracle or even one that's anywhere close to Chainlink. Maybe that changes in the future, but right now, yeah. Crypto tech, well, that'll be the list in the future too. Fish and chips. I can't stand fish and chips anymore. It's just too oily. It's too oily. By the way, I watched Mortal Kombat. I was very, very underwhelmed. I thought that movie would be better. It's really not good. It's really not good. BDC reaching peak popularity on Google Trends again. Thought that was interesting. You know what? Really? I find that hard to believe. Let's look at it real quick. Yeah, no. We're nowhere close. I don't know what you're talking about. We're nowhere close to the peak of that we had in January. We're way lower, and we're still nowhere close to this point in 2017. So until we get there, then yeah, that would be true FOMO season. But right now we're nowhere close to there. Why does Binance get updated during the exact crash day? What happens to your limit buy orders? They just don't get executed because the whole system is down. I don't know why. Maybe a lot of whales do plan on doing things during system maintenance on purpose because they know people can't do anything during those times. So, it's not surprising that happens at that time. Ashan, thank you. What happened to Pundi? Will it come back? I was surprised by that. Pundi, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I saw that they were working hard, trying to do their redenomination, coming out their chain, coming out staking. and I thought they were doing really well, and then they just really stalled out. I'm actually quite surprised. Refinable. People ask me on Refinable. I did see it looks pretty interesting. The very first big NFT marketplace for Binance Smart Chain, so they could be big. And I mean, they keep bragging about Mr. Beast getting involved. I actually have asked him about it. He has not replied to me, so I don't know. I asked him to do an interview, and I do have an inside connection to him, but he has not responded. So I don't know like how involved he really is, but it could be big for Binance Smart Chain. TVK will be king of the NFT space. I like them, but I don't know if they could become king. They have a few movie producers signed up. That's about it. They need to sign up more movie producers or anything, right? They need more licensing. I think the key thing for NFT marketplaces is licensing. They need to be able to create content that's fully licensed, and they'll be fine. People will want them. Gabriel, I started buying crypto in February after being talked into by a colleague. I'm currently split. Okay, 33. I have about $6,000. What coin would you add next? Well, looking at that, you have Bitcoin and 2 big caps, right? There's a lot more big caps that I like. There's a lot of mid caps and small caps that I like. So I can't tell you exactly what to buy, but if you paid attention to some of the videos where I cover a lot, including this morning's where I talked about Solana, that gives you a clue. And in these interviews I keep having, I talk about like VeChain, I talk about even Nulls, I talk about KuCoin, I talk about even Voyager and Terra and PancakeSwap. There's a lot of ones I've talked about, so pay attention. I'm in talks with Dogecoin devs to list on Pundi so retail stores can accept Doge. That would be big. That would be big. I mean, I'm still waiting for I'm waiting for Tesla to open up Doge payments for Teslas. I know that's coming. I know Elon's working on that. But that would be big. Of course, Newegg already accepted Dogecoin, Dallas Mavericks, but the more retailers that accepts them, the better. And maybe, who knows, PayPal will get in. PayPal can instantly accept Dogecoin with all their merchants, or open it up for their merchants. That could be right around the corner. Thoughts on Tron? I honestly don't know what they're working on. They have NFT plays, they have lending plays, they have staking plays. I hear they're turning Wink into Oracle now from their gambling thing. That's what I hear. But BitTorrent and all these guys, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. XYO and their partners. Okay. So, what about, I don't even know what they do. I still don't know what they do. What is XYO? A community surrounding XYO has grown, okay. So now it drives XYO Oracle network has been created, expanded. Okay. Benefits of a scalable and centralized location data protocol. Okay, so their data marketplace. I think data marketplace is what they're doing. So you want me to look at their partners. Okay. Like, this does not mean, I mean, if you're looking at it because you think, okay, it's because they're partnering with Microsoft, they're not really. Remax, okay, maybe. Harmony, of course, Chainlink, yeah. But, FedEx, these, I can't tell if they're real or not. Because sometimes, just with some kind of little implementation or some little use, these projects will say, okay, we're partners, but they're really not. So I don't know. I have to do more research. Whether or not they're true partnerships or just like utilizing their service. Holding chain games. Do you think about Epic pulling the rug from underneath them? I don't think Epic has anything to do with them. Chain games is just basically saying we're going to layer in this esport betting platform on top of these tournaments. I don't think Epic or anyone else is actually really sponsoring them to do this. That's my opinion. I might be 100% wrong, but from my understanding, they're basically just layer in their solution to be able to pull up, let's say a tournament and have people bet on it, right? But I don't think they actually have Epic's consent to do that. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I have to figure it out. I was supposed to talk to CEO of Chain Games, but I postponed because I'm trying to set things up. I'm trying to set up a studio. I'm trying to get that going first. Thaddeus Jr. NFT drop in Eternity, real world swag. Have you given a second? I mean, I looked at them. I didn't like what they were doing. I mean, it did not seem like a big thing for me. So, I mean, let's just since we have some time, let's pull them up. No, this is not it. Actually, it's not called Eternity. It's Eternity. I hate saying that. I always call it Eternity, and I realize it's wrong. Eternity. Yeah, like these Jason Hauser, like even though they had a video about, how there's a lot of t-shirts and this, like for me, I would never buy it. I would never buy any of these NFTs. That does not fascinate me. I do not think they're going to be rare. I don't think they have any purpose, right? There's other people that may think differently, but to me, it's not very compelling at all. So, whoever they bring next, hopefully. Here we go. Let's see. Where they bring next here. Is it a card? Is it a moment? I don't know. When and how did I get into crypto? New subscriber, love your content. I appreciate it. I got into crypto in 2013 when I first heard about Bitcoin, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever that you could create your own money tree. Basically, I got into mining, and of all the coins, I was mining Litecoin. And then 2014, the crash happened. I got scared out, and then I got back in 2017 when I heard Bitcoin went back its highs, and I got in. I bought Bitcoin. I had a ton of Litecoin mine. Unfortunately, I sold it all. 2017, I got in. I bought Bitcoin at like 2000, and then I started my journey, started my website, started the YouTube channel, and it blew up. And then I got laid off in August or September 2017. That's when I went and focused on crypto full time, and it worked out really well. It was hard after 2017, 2018, 19, 20, very hard. But I got through it, and now, things are looking pretty good. So that's kind of how I started. Meryl, I don't know. I don't know if that has a lot of potential. What's your opinion on future DEXs? I think they're here to stay, but they're going to be a little bit different in the future. I think even brokerages and I don't know, even banks maybe possibly could be working with them in the future. So I think it's go keep evolving. They will evolve into something that is way more mainstream than it is now. Instant cross-chain crypto swaps, 200 current cryptocurrencies. Okay. Partners are not that impressive. I mean, okay, if it works, great. But there's a lot of competition. A lot of competition in this space. So, and Yeah, being on Huobi and Poloniex, OKX, you know, they don't have that pumpability factor. They really need to get on Binance or KuCoin to have that pump. So, all right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Overall, Bitcoin's doing a little better. Doing a little better right now. But like I said at the beginning of the stream, the daily chart looks fantastic to me. I mean, again, I'm not a TA guy, but using basic indicators, they look pretty fantastic. Looks like Bitcoin's about to make a big move. But the real story, I think, is the options. The option calls, you know, where these open interests, you know, are and where we may end up this new week, right? By Friday this new week, there's a lot of people that's betting very, very, very high. You know, 80,000 plus for Bitcoin. And even if we don't get there, even the max pain price, you know, the one point where both sides lose is at 56,000. So that's at least 6,000 above where we are now. So could this be the market driver? Possibly. So we'll see. Starting from tomorrow on, moving into this new week, can we see some explosive movement? Quite possibly. So have a good night, guys. And stay tuned, you know, to my stream tomorrow. Same time, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? And we'll reevaluate the market again. Take care.